The Republicans and the Democrats are murderers and thieves. How many more people do they have to murder around the world in the name of freedom and democracy? And how much more of our money do they have to steal in the names of bailouts, too big to fails, loan guarantees, and special tax breaks to our buddies? We're not going to get it from the Bloods and the Crips, or as people like to be more proper, calling them the Republicans and the Democrats. They're a disgusting group of losers and thieves.
Well, as you pointed out, Gerald, with the Asian Bank, you said China is getting involved in business, and all we're doing is you're shipping arms around. Our business now as a country is arms shipment. We are the arms merchant of the world, and we're fleecing the American public. We're destroying our wealth, as well as we're going to be destroying our own individual freedom, just as we see with this Operation Jade Helm. They are training, I believe, not just with this drill, but of course, I think these wars that we're seeing in the Middle East, I think those are training for what they're going to do here at home eventually. I agree. You're going to see this is going to collapse. Everybody knows it's being held up by record low interest rates. They haven't raised interest rates since 2006. We've had 0% interest rates for 6 years. Now they're doing it over in Europe as well. Do you know why the markets are up today? China's announcing maybe they're going to start pushing more dough into the system because their real estate bubbles collapsed. At some point, this Ponzi scheme is going to fall apart. And as I always say, when people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. And people have lost most everything. They've lost their opportunity in this country. And it's going to get a lot worse. So what are they going to do? They're going to clamp down on us. We, the people, it's fascism. It's the merger of state and corporate powers. And I'm not making that up. When you see what happens with too big to fail, it's the merger of state and corporate powers. When you see bailouts and bailing out their friends in the business, it's the merger of state and corporate powers. It's in front of our eyes. And what we see going on in Europe, we see just about a month and a half ago, we had Greenspan come out and said, yeah, Greece is going to leave the EU. The only way we can keep the EU from coming apart is if we make it not just a trade agreement, but if we make it a sovereign United States of Europe. And that's what we had the largest bond seller, PIMCO, said that just at the end of last week, saying that we need a United States of Europe is the only way that the EU is going to survive. So these trade agreements, these austerity programs they're putting on people, this is all targeted towards pushing them to a political union, not just an economic trade zone. Oh, you got it. And, you know, I mean, nobody in this country, barely, other than your show, mine, you know, the people that are concerned about this, talk about the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Transatlantic Agreement as well. This has nothing to do, very little to do with trade. All it has to do with multinationals having the rights over sovereign nations. I mean, those are facts. And we, the people in this land of freedom and democracy, are not allowed to read it. No, we can't see it because the multinationals are putting the deal together, so we can't read it. How's that for transparency, huh? Yeah, exactly. And, of course, now they're taking the mask off. They're showing us and talking about it. We've had Petraeus say, you know, what comes after America? North America. And he talks about the North American Union. He says we're 20 years into it. They're taking the mask off. They're showing people that the North American Union was all about a political consolidation all along. And now they're taking the mask off and they're showing people that the European Union was all about a political consolidation all along as well. And the way that they are going to push these political consolidations in is with economic hardship, as we see starting to develop throughout the European Union. Exactly. And Bob Petraeus, what a disgusting human being he is. And look what happened with him. He gets caught, what? Giving classified information to his girlfriend. And he gets a slap on the wrist. Yeah, exactly. And this is a guy who's the head of the CIA. Anybody else does it, like Bradley Manning or anybody else, you know, they're in jail and doing hard time. But hey, when you're at the top, again, going back to fascism, that's what happens in a fascist nation. And I think, Gerald, it's important to point out that he wasn't, you know, Bradley Manning and these other people, they were exposing information that was showing criminal wrongdoing. Edward Snowden was showing criminal wrongdoing of our government, and yet they come after the whistleblower.
They don't do anything about the people who are exposed committing criminal acts. And yet Petraeus was not a whistleblowing action when he released that information, so he gets a pass. It's only the people who are exposing criminal actions in this corrupt government that they come after.
Yeah. And again, when you're talking about the North American Alliance and NAFTA, of course, begun under Bill Clinton, it's a multinational takeover. And it's just going to keep going more and more in that direction. You know, when you think about the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, infrastructure investment is anathema to America. China invests about 6.5%, 8.5% of their GDP each year to infrastructure. The United States invests the grand total of 0.065%.
Yeah, exactly. Stay with us. We're going to be right back. Gerald Celente, Trends Journal and TrendsResearch.com. We'll be right back with Gerald Celente.
Communist China freely allows the sale of bulletproof armor plates, while our U.S. politicians argue from banning Americans from owning body armor.
Does that sound right to you?
Arm your American body at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
Why use dial-up when you can use broadband? Why travel with this when you can use this?
And why would anyone use colloidal or ionic silver when you can use supernatural silver?
Supernatural silver is state-of-the-art, and it's been clinically proven to be several hundred times more effective than those other silvers. It's powerful enough to protect you and your family from the threat of deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. But it's so safe that it can be used internally or topically. And you'll never again deal with the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics. Hundreds of scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions have all shown supernatural silver is a powerful weapon in the fight against invading pathogens. Supernatural silver is a must-have for your arsenal. Go to supernaturalsilver.com today and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off. Give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Healthy elimination is essential to high energy, a cheerful mood, and prevention of disease. Some of the founders of our modern holistic health thinking state that disease begins in a toxic colon. A toxic intestinal tract is the foundation for virtually all degenerative disease, and a clean and well-moving intestinal tract is the foundation of health.
I just want to say that you folks have an amazing product. I've taken whey protein products for years, and I've never noticed the results I have with your product. I've suffered with bouts of constipation most of my life. Within a few days of taking One World Whey, I noticed a dramatic change. Also, in the past few years, I've experienced symptoms associated with diabetes. I feel horrible when I've had too much sugar, and I've been getting the foot pain as well. But I've noticed in the past week or so, I'm not feeling bad anymore, and the foot pain is gone. I'm just finishing up a 5-pound tub I ordered and just got off the phone ordering more. I love your product. Thank you.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Today, oh boy.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and we've been talking to Gerald Celente, publisher of Trends Journal. We've been talking about the problems inherent in our involvement in Yemen, and of course, our tied to the hip involvement with the Saudis who have now invaded Yemen. We're going to talk to Gerald in this last segment about solutions. Before we do, I want to remind you that we've got DNA Force 30% off for just another couple of days. It ends at the end of March at InfoWarsLife.com. You can get it for the first time under $100. Why is it such a high-priced nutraceutical? Well, because it's got very high-quality, rare ingredients in it, like BioPQQ, backed by over 175 published clinical studies, as well as other things that help your mitochondrial health, like resveratrol, the active healthy ingredient in red wine. And, of course, the way that it does this is protecting your DNA. Many scientists have talked about how telomeres are the little end caps on the end of your DNA strings, kind of like the caps on the end of your shoestrings. When those disappear or get very short, your DNA starts to essentially unravel, starts to come apart. The way that you keep that from happening is by having healthy mitochondrial cells. And one of the ways that you do that is to fight the toxins, give the nutrients to those cells that allow them to protect the DNA, the telomeres, to get longer, to protect that DNA strand, to keep it from unraveling like a shoestring without a tip. So you can find that right now, 30% off DNA Force at InfoWarsLife.com. Gerald, tell us about solutions. What can we do about this? I mean, you talk about how bad the military-industrial complex is, the government that just continues to grow unchecked, even the most, the people who are portraying themselves as fiscally conservative, they want to grow up by $190 billion. What is the solution to all of this?
Well, I think it's honoring thy founding fathers and going back to what this country was based upon. And I know that people say, oh, there were a lot of terrible things. I know. None of us are perfect. This was the land of opportunity, and it was the envy of the world for a lot of the great things that happened here. So in the basis of that, no foreign entanglements, close all the bases overseas, seal the borders. We got enough. 316 million people, high unemployment rates, low income because of all the cheap labor coming in. And I've been writing about this since 1985. You know, the numbers are all there. The more cheap labor that comes in, the lower the standard of living. And these trade agreements that are not trade agreements at all, they're available so that the multinationals could exploit slave labor overseas and bring the product over here and sell it to us. So number one, bring the troops home, no foreign entanglements. Use these troops to seal the border. Take that money that's being wasted in blowing up the world and rebuild America. Look at our infrastructure. It's a joke. You go to Asia, you go to Europe, and you come back. When I fly back into JFK, oh my God, I can't believe it. What a disgrace. You know, going down the Parkway, litter everywhere, a beat-up terminal. So let's rebuild America. Number two, put the laws back in place that leveled the playing field. It was what happened during the 19th and the 20th century. People like Teddy Roosevelt knew that the robber barons, if they had their hands on all the dough, would rob it from everybody else. So they put in place the Robertson-Patman Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, Clayton Antitrust Act that leveled the playing field. Young people have no idea what it used to be like. They think there was always a Walmart or a Target. They think that there was always a CVS and a Rite Aid, or a Staples and a Home Depot, or a Lowe's and somebody else that does all the business and put out all the mom and pops.
Absolutely. We're out of time, Gerald Celente, and it's unfortunate we no longer have mom and pops. Thank you for joining us. Gerald Celente, trendsresearch.com.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
Let the worst people get controlled and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.